The secret no one talks about when it comes to longevity after 60. There's something strange that most of us overlook. People are willing to spend hundreds of dollars each month on supplements, vitamins, and health products. Yet they forget the simplest, most essential act: cleaning their own bodies properly every day. It sounds trivial, even ordinary. But for older adults, it can be the fine line between a healthy day and an infection that turns dangerous. American geriatric specialist Dr. Susan Blanchard once said at a conference of the American Geriatric Society, "Older adults don't die from aging itself. They die from the little things they neglect every day. Not drinking enough water, not sleeping deeply, and not cleaning their bodies properly. When we're young, our immune systems are strong, our skin heals quickly, and a small scratch disappears in a few days. But after 60, everything slows down. The skin becomes thinner, sweat glands less active, and the ability to fight bacteria drops significantly. A small cut on the neck, an unwashed area behind the ears, these can become perfect breeding grounds for bacteria, fungi, or even viruses. And yet, many seniors bathe less frequently, not because they dislike cleanliness, but because they fear the cold, fear slipping, or simply feel that they no longer sweat much. As a result, those forgotten areas begin to accumulate sweat, oil, and bacteria. They don't cause harm immediately, but over time, they weaken the skin's defenses, inflame the lymph nodes, and force the immune system to work overtime. A 2022 study by the National Institute on Aging found that chronic skin infections are 3 times more common in adults over 70 than in those under 40. And over 60% of those infections begin in areas that weren't cleaned properly every day. Surprisingly, most people focus only on washing their face and hands, while neglecting key areas such as behind the ears, the neck, underarms, groin, and feet, all vital zones for sweat and lymph circulation. Among these, the neck is the most crucial. It's not just the bridge between the head and the body. It's also home to clusters of lymph nodes, the body's natural filtration, and refreshed you feel when you wash your face with warm water in the morning, or how soaking your feet at night seems to calm your body and ease you into sleep. That's not a coincidence. When you care for your body with water, blood circulation improves, nerves relax, and stress hormones decrease. Researchers at the University of California found that daily warm baths reduce the risk of depression by 30% and hypertension by 20%. But all those benefits mean little if we ignore the most important areas. For seniors, the skin behind the ears and around the neck is often neglected. Clothing collars, scarves, and fear of cold water make people stop at the chin when washing their face, leaving the area under the jaw and back of the neck untouched. Bacteria like Staphylococcus aureus, the same ones that cause boils and skin inflammation, thrive in warm, moist, unventilated skin. If left unchecked, even a small nick from shaving or a stray hair brushing against the skin can lead to redness, swelling, and infections that spread to lymph nodes. What's worse, these seemingly minor infections can spread to blood vessels near the brain, leading to vascular inflammation or even sepsis, especially dangerous for people with heart disease or diabetes. Of course, not everyone faces such extreme outcomes, but here's the truth. Washing your neck and behind your ears for just 2 minutes a day can reduce the risk of head and neck skin infections by up to 70%, according to Harvard Health Publishing, 2023. The human body after 60 is like a garden that has seen many seasons. You can't let moss grow and water stagnate, then expect the flowers to bloom. Washing your body, especially your neck, behind your ears, underarms, and feet, is like watering that garden. It revives life. Someone once said, "Old age isn't frightening. What's frightening is when you stop caring about yourself." Self-care doesn't have to be grand. It begins with a warm towel, a glass of water, a deep breath, and a little patience with your aging body. If you're still here, listening to these words, it means you truly care about your health and your years ahead. Follow New Golden Day, where we learn, together, how to live well, live slowly, and live meaningfully every single day. Reveals a profound truth. After 60, the skin on the neck grows thinner, oil glands weaken, and sweat glands nearly stop functioning. Dust and dead cells continue to build up, and without regular cleaning, they block pores and slow circulation. Over time, the neck becomes dry, stiff, and sore. People blame old age, when in fact, their bodies are just asking for gentle care. A 2021 NIH study found that over 60% of Americans over 65 experience mild neck inflammation without realizing it. Many feel shoulder heaviness, dizziness, or headaches, never suspecting that the problem lies just beneath their jaw, where the skin has been neglected for years. In Japan, older adults have a beautiful daily ritual. Every morning, they wipe their necks with a warm cloth, a simple act of mindfulness. They believe warm water awakens circulation and clears the mind. An 85-year-old man in Kyoto once said, "When water touches my neck, I can feel my heartbeat. It reminds me I'm still connected to the world." Even in the US, some nursing homes now encourage seniors to adopt this habit. With just a warm towel and a few quiet minutes, many feel more relaxed, breathe easier, and start the day lighter and calmer. Margaret, an elderly woman from Oregon, once said, "I don't shower every day anymore because I get cold easily. But every morning I wipe my neck with a warm towel. I love that feeling, the warmth, the scent of soap, the rhythm of my breathing. It feels like I'm hugging myself." Caring for the neck doesn't require fancy routines, just a few minutes of gentleness. Use a warm towel, not hot water, since older skin dries easily. Clean the back of the neck, where sweat and dust gather most. Then pat dry and apply a light moisturizer. Within days, you'll feel a difference. Softer skin, better sleep, lighter shoulders. Dermatologists at Mayo Clinic have confirmed that consistent neck care reduces the risk of skin inflammation by up to 40% and improves blood flow to the brain. The human body after 60 is like a weathered garden. If neglected, dust settles, leaves fade, and the soil dries up. But if you water it each day, even gently, life returns. Wiping your neck each morning is not just about staying clean, it's about watering your own life. When warm fabric touches your skin and steam rises lightly in the air, it's a quiet reminder that you're still here, still feeling, still alive. We can't stop time, but we can make every day matter. Something as small as washing your neck can improve circulation, calm your mind, and deepen your sleep. When you look in the mirror and see your neck soft and healthy, smile, because it means you've remembered something most people your age forget: to love yourself through the smallest acts of care. There's a small area on the human body that most people never think about. It hides quietly behind the ears, a soft patch of skin, out of sight, rarely touched. And yet, that tiny place can become a silent breeding ground for bacteria, the starting point of many health problems that most older adults have no idea about. American dermatologist Dr. Elizabeth Moreno once said, "If you want to know whether someone still takes care of themselves, look behind their ears." It's the most overlooked area of the body, but it reveals a lot about how much a person values their own well-being. When we're young, the sebaceous and sweat glands there work actively, naturally cleansing the skin. But with age, those glands weaken, the skin dries out, while dust, oil, and bacteria continue to accumulate each day. They quietly build up into a thick film that most people never touch, assuming that spot doesn't matter. In truth, it matters more than we think. The area behind the ears sits close to the neck's lymphatic system and the nerves that connect to the head. When bacteria and fungi grow there, they can spread downward to the neck, into the inner ear, and even affect balance and hearing. That's why many older adults in the US often experience dizziness, ear itching, or ringing without knowing why. A 2022 study by the American Academy of Dermatology found that more than 50% of adults over 65 show mild inflammation or infection behind the ears, mostly due to inadequate hygiene. But beyond health, this small area carries something deeper. It holds memories. It's where our mothers once wiped us clean before bed, where the scent of shampoo lingered from childhood, where loved ones kissed us goodbye. Behind the ears live the traces of tenderness, warmth, belonging, connection. And when we grow old, that place grows cold. No one wipes it for us anymore. No one notices it. And we, too, stop touching it ourselves. At a community gathering in Wisconsin, a 79-year-old woman named Margaret once shared, "I don't remember how long I'd ignored the area behind my ears. One day, my granddaughter came to visit and helped me wash my face. When she used a warm towel to wipe behind my ears, I suddenly started crying. Not because it hurt, but because I realized no one had touched it. The risk is even higher, since the skin there is constantly rubbed and retains sweat." Dr. Harris Levine from the Mayo Clinic once warned, "A small patch of skin behind the ear can become the starting point of a systemic infection in older adults." It sounds hard to believe, but in many cases, just one tiny crack behind the ear has allowed bacteria to enter the bloodstream, causing lymphatic inflammation or swelling in the neck. That's why, for seniors, cleaning this area daily isn't just about appearance, it's about survival. All you need is a soft cloth, warm water, and a few gentle seconds. After showering, wipe carefully behind the ears, especially the fold where the ear meets the head, where oil and dust collect most easily. If the skin is dry, apply a drop of olive oil or a fragrance-free moisturizer. Such a small act, yet it softens the skin, reduces inflammation, and, most importantly, helps you reconnect with your own body. An 83-year-old man in Seattle once said during a wellness class, "Every time I clean behind my ears, I feel like I'm washing away the tiredness of the entire day." It sounded simple, but carried the quiet wisdom of old age, that cleaning the body is also cleaning the mind. Behind the ears lie not only bacteria, but old thoughts, small worries, and yesterday's weight. When you wash them away, you're telling yourself, "Today is over, everything is okay." Science calls it the psychological effect of self-care, an action that triggers oxytocin, the hormone of peace. But for older adults, it means something more profound, the rebirth of tenderness. When you care for your own body, you're holding yourself in a quiet embrace. And your body understands that language. It responds with comfort, steadier heartbeats, and deeper sleep. Many say that old age is the time of loss of health, loved ones, purpose. But there's one thing we can still reclaim: gentleness toward ourselves. And sometimes that begins with the smallest acts: a warm towel, a forgotten patch of skin, a quiet moment in the bathroom each morning. When you touch behind your ears, don't think of it as removing dirt. Think of it as wiping away fatigue, loneliness, and the sighs of a long day. That warm water doesn't just clean your skin, it soothes your soul. It reminds you that you can still feel, still love, and still have a body that's trying every day to stay with you. Behind those ears lies something profoundly human. The place where love once touched you, and where now you can give that same love back to yourself. The hidden gateway beneath your arms. Inside the human body, there's another area few people think about, yet it functions as a kind of drainage gate for toxins. It's the underarms. When we're young, we think of them only as places that smell, so we use deodorants and perfumes to cover them up. But after 60, the real problem isn't odor. It's what gets trapped inside when the underarms stop working as they should. The armpits contain one of the body's highest concentrations of sweat and sebaceous glands, along with hundreds of lymph nodes, the cleanup crew of the immune system. When we sweat, the body doesn't just cool itself. It also flushes out waste, salts, and bacteria through the skin. But as we age, sweat glands weaken, skin thickens, and pores shrink. Meanwhile, toxins begin to accumulate because the body no longer has an efficient way to release them. Doctors at the Mayo Clinic call the armpit the early warning point of the immune system. If it becomes inflamed, swollen, or gives off an unusual odor, it may not be just a skin problem. It could be a sign that the liver, kidneys, or immune system are under strain. Yet most people wash their underarms carelessly. The young rush because they're busy. The elderly avoid it because they fear the cold, fear falling, or think, I don't sweat anymore, so it doesn't matter. And that's when bacteria begin to grow. They don't just cause odor. They can travel backward through enlarged pores, clogging lymph nodes and slowing detoxification. When the lymph flow slows, the body's cleansing system becomes congested. Imagine a river blocked by debris. Water stagnates, waste piles up, and sickness begins. A 2023 Johns Hopkins Geriatric Center study found that while sweat gland activity in seniors decreases by 40%, the rate of and short of breath. Her heart and lung tests came back normal. Eventually, a skin exam revealed mild inflammation in her underarm lymph nodes caused by long-term bacterial buildup. After a few weeks of gentle cleansing with warm towels each night, her fatigue disappeared completely. The doctor smiled and said, "Sometimes good health doesn't come from a pill, but from a clean towel. Washing your underarms is more than just a habit. It's a form of release. When we cleanse, we help our bodies let go of what's old, heavy, and unnecessary. It's like tidying up the home we live in every day. No one wants to live in a dusty house, yet many let their own bodies fill with toxins without realizing it." An 80-year-old man in Florida shared during a therapy session, "I used to shower regularly, but never paid attention to my underarms. One day, a nurse noticed some redness and told me to clean them better. After a few weeks, I started sleeping better and felt less tired. I don't know if it's a coincidence, but I feel different." His story may sound simple, but it's proof of how deeply the body and mind are connected. When you care for forgotten parts of yourself, you're sending a message. I'm still worth caring for, and the body hears it. It responds with new vitality, a steadier heartbeat, and peace. Warm water flows beneath your arms. Your breathing slows, your pulse steadies. And in that moment, it's not just about cleanliness, it's calmness. A quiet kind of peace that only comes when you truly listen to your body. Many older Americans have said they felt disconnected from their bodies after losing a spouse, as if self-care no longer mattered. But when they started small, wiping their necks, behind their ears, or under their arms each morning, they began to feel connected again. A 77-year-old woman named Joanne once said through tears, "I used to think this body was just what was left of the past. But now, every time I care for it, I feel alive again. I feel worthy of love." Our bodies never betray us. Even when they weaken, they keep working, filtering blood, pumping air, healing silently, just so we can live one more day. So every time you wash under your arms, let it be a small act of gratitude. Thank your body for carrying you this far. Let the warm water rinse away sweat, dust, and the fatigue of the day. Make it a quiet ritual, a ritual of life itself. Because sometimes, happiness in old age doesn't come from grand things. It comes from those small, still moments when you touch your own body gently, take a deep breath, and whisper, "Thank you for staying with me another day." If the heart is the center of life, then the feet are what quietly keep its rhythm. They are the farthest point from the heart, the place where blood must travel the longest journey to return, the part that carries the entire weight of a lifetime, and yet, the one most often neglected. Dr. Stephen Rogers, a geriatric specialist at Harvard Health, once said, "You can often tell how long someone will live just by looking at their feet." It may sound like a metaphor, but it's a scientific truth. After 60, circulation in the legs begins to weaken. Tiny blood vessels lose their elasticity, making it harder for oxygen and nutrients to reach the lower limbs. If the feet aren't cared for properly, small changes, like dry skin, thick nails, or minor scratches, can become gateways to serious complications, especially for those with diabetes or high blood pressure. What few realize is that most of these problems begin with something incredibly simple: not washing the feet properly. Young people rush through showers, while older adults often avoid bending down. They rinse quickly, dry roughly, put on socks or shoes and forget. Sweat, dirt, bacteria, and dead skin build up in the narrow spaces between the toes. That's where infections begin. Brain of the body. They contain more than 7,000 nerve endings and 200,000 sweat glands. Every step, every touch to the ground sends signals to the nervous system. When the feet are clean, warm, and well circulated, the brain receives calming messages, helping you relax and sleep better. But when the feet are cold, dirty, or inflamed, the nervous system sends stress signals, leading to restless nights and anxiety. That's why the Japanese have a long-standing tradition of soaking their feet in warm water every evening, not as a luxury, but as a way to restore the body's natural balance. A bowl of warm water, a pinch of salt, a few drops of essential oil. That's all it takes to stimulate blood flow, soothe the nerves, and awaken a sense of peace beneath the skin. Doctors at Kyoto University Hospital found that elderly individuals who soaked their feet in warm water for 15 minutes each night had more stable blood pressure, fewer leg cramps, and slept 25% more deeply than those who didn't. In the US, many nursing homes now encourage residents to adopt a ritual of foot washing, not just for hygiene, but as a reminder that the body is still worthy of love. An 81-year-old woman in California once said, "When the nurse washed my feet, I cried, not out of sadness, but because it reminded me of my mother washing my father's feet after a long day. I realized that sometimes love is as simple as a bowl of warm water." It may seem ordinary, but in each gentle motion lies something sacred. Connection. Connection between people. Connection between body and soul. When warm water flows over your feet, it washes away not only dirt, but also the weariness of the day, reviving something pure within you. Washing your feet is, in truth, a form of body meditation, a moment of stillness where you let go of thoughts and simply exist. American therapist Dr. James Howard once said, "Every time I wash a patient's feet, I feel like I'm healing myself." He believed that feet carry memories of running as a child, waiting for loved ones, walking through love and loss. When we care for our feet, we touch the stories, aware and grateful. Old age is not the end of the journey. It's the time to walk more slowly, more softly, and with gratitude in your heart. And every time you wash your feet, you take another step, not forward, but inward, toward peace, toward love, toward yourself. After everything we've talked about, the neck, behind the ears, underarms and feet, perhaps you've realized something. Cleansing isn't just about soap and water, it's about awakening. When we're young, we care for our bodies out of fear, fear of looking bad, fear of being judged. But as we age, we care for our bodies for a different reason, because we want to keep feeling alive. It's no longer about appearance, it's about reconnecting with the body that has carried us, breath by breath, heartbeat by heartbeat, all these years. People often say, the human body is the only home we live in our entire lives. But most only remember that truth when the home begins to fall apart, when pain arrives, when steps slow, when breath shortens. We forget that this home also needs cleaning, tending and loving, not once in a while, but every day. When you wash your face in the morning, wipe your neck with a warm towel, or wash your feet at night, you're not just removing the dust of the day, you're performing a ritual of life. Water flows over the skin, carrying away fatigue and sorrow, leaving you renewed in the present moment. Each act of cleansing teaches us how to live again, slowly, gently, and with gratitude. In Japan, elders call this ofuro no kokoro, bathing with the heart. They believe that when warm water touches the skin, the soul is freed from worry. In America, many seniors call it a quiet moment with myself. No phone, no rush, no plans for tomorrow. Just you, water, and breath. Some say that after 70, there's little left to make life new. But in truth, every day can be new if you begin with one simple act. Cleanse your body and open your heart. When asked, what keeps people living long? Some say healthy food. Some say exercise. Some say good genes. But the longest living people I've met, in California, in Okinawa, in Maine, share one thing in common. They care for themselves with love, not obligation. They bathe not because they must, but because they enjoy the feeling of water. They eat not because they have to, but because they want to nourish their bodies. They walk not because they fear illness, but because they love the warmth of sunlight. Gratitude. The room fell silent because everyone felt the truth in his words. Longevity isn't measured in years. It's measured in the quality of each day we live. And sometimes that quality begins with the smallest act. Washing the neck, wiping behind the ears, cleaning the underarms, soaking tired feet in warm water and letting the body breathe. When we cleanse the body, we cleanse the soul. When we love ourselves, we heal ourselves. Old age is not a full stop. It's a gentle reminder to slow down, to listen to your heartbeat, to feel the water touch your skin, and to know you are still here. You are still alive, and you are still beautiful in your own timeless way. So if one morning you look in the mirror and see wrinkles, don't be sad. Those lines are proof of a life fully lived, of laughter, tears, love and forgiveness. They are not marks of decline, but engravings of experience. And when you wash your face and see your reflection through the rising steam, whisper softly, just for yourself, "Thank you, my dear body. Thank you for still being here, so I can begin another day." If these words warm your heart, share them with someone you love. Because health and longevity aren't found in distant secrets, but right here, in your own hands and your own heart. And if you wish to keep exploring the art of living well, slowly and joyfully after 60, follow New Golden Day, where every story is a gentle reminder that life still holds so much beauty for you to enjoy every single day.